Welcome to Hive AV. This will be a high-level overview of the Hive AV app, the breakdown of the different pages, and the workflow. All right, we'll begin by clicking on our Hive viewer and then connecting to the Hive Touch. So we're going to begin at the end. What I mean by that is what you're going to see now is the completed configuration of Hive. And then I'm going to walk you through the whole process. What you see here is the end user interface, right? Or the activity page. And we already set this up. And I'm going to power on the page. And you can kind of see the different elements. You can see we have a little warm-up bar that pops up. And you can see it's broken down into three sections. You have this top section, the middle section, and the bottom section down here. So the top section, going from right to left, we have our power on and off, and I just powered the system on. If I press this, it'll power down. We have a cog. This will take us to the setup page, right? And I'll show you that at the very end. We have a camera control for the camera that we added. We have our video wall. This is our MC200 video processor interface. And then we have our main switching interface. And this matrix switcher here is that actual Versa setup, right? And we have three presets here. And I can recall these presets at any point just by pressing on any of these buttons. Or I could look at all the presets by pressing the presets icon. At the bottom, you can see we have our volume control, and I can volume up and down using the slider. I could do some increments. I'm muting and unmuting the audio, or I'm muting and unmuting the microphone. This is what the end user sees. This is the finished product of what the integrator has already set up. And we're moving backwards. Let's take a look at the settings page. This is where everything is broken down into devices, which would be your first thing, activities, and then any settings. We're actually going to start with settings. I'm going to do a backup. So I have this program. Then I'm going to do a factory reset. I could always come in and do restore and get this whole program back. Factory reset right here. And this is the first page that you'll see as an integrator when you first open up the app and begin your configurations. You're going to start with devices. I'm just going to make it real easy and add the easiest device you could possibly add, Versa. We have a whole section that's going to go over Versa, so I'm not going to spend that much time in it. But basically, it's going out, it's finding all the encoders, all the decoders, it's building a matrix interface that you just saw a moment ago. And boom, just like that, it's done. Let's add other devices. I'm going to add the MC200. Now, this is going to be our video wall device. And you can see how that video wall switch get flipped. This is for future use. And then let's add a different switcher, right? And this is our HSM matrix switcher. It's a 4x4. We have the HSM 44BX, which is slightly different, and the 8x8 version. If I wanted, I could add any of these other switching devices. How easy it is just to add a device. And you can see how they get added. And there's a little interface down here that you can use to test stuff. So let me add a DSP device. We have the Atlas Blue Bridge DSP, the Odyssey DSP is just going to add this for now. And now I'm going to add a camera. This is our HT 1080 PTZ camera. And we're going to control it over IP. Just like that. I've added all my devices. I'm going to want to focus on my activities. You can see under switching, you automatically, whatever the last switcher you add becomes the default switcher. But I kind of want to show off the Versa interface. That's what we showed before. But I can still build presets for that HSM switcher if I wanted to. It's in the system. And I could also, anyone could come in here and control it if we wanted to. So let's do audio next, right? Now, I could use that Odyssey that I added by pressing save. And you can see here, there's no slider for the Odyssey, but I could do increment up and increment down, and you can see the bar changing for that. And I can mute and unmute the microphone on the device. But I kind of wanted to show this TCP/IP direct, because this is a really good feature of Hive. This allows you to add any device driver that is controllable over IP, specifically TCP/IP. And I'm going to put in this IP address. What I'm doing is I'm simulating a device by using my laptop. And I do this by creating a server using Hercules. We can see that right here. And I have that set to 99, and that's why I have that set to 99 there. Here's your delimiter. This is 0D, and 0A is your line, is your carriage return and line feed. And you can change this because different devices might need different delimiters, right? And I'm going to set the slider up, and this is just pretend API, but whatever you would put this in here, and basically I'm putting a backslash, and now this level and this variable can be anywhere. This level that represents the audio set level, and right now I have it 0 to 100. I could change this to 50 if I wanted, and this to a negative value if I wanted. Whatever the audible range is, that'll set that for there, and you can click on this eye, and it gives you an example of what that would look like. So let's do our up command and a down command, and what this is going to do is going to be for our increments. All right, mute on, and we'll just say mon, moff, mon for mic and our mic, right? And again, it really just depends on what your device is and the API is. These are just made up keys so that we can kind of see what that looks like. And if you had any kind of authentication, you just click on this. Some devices need that. But now what you can see, we have a nice little slider built. And here's my fake device over there. And you can kind of see that when I move this around, oh, look, see, there's my set level. You know, if I go all the way up to 100, it's 100. If I go down to 0, it's 0. And I could go up and down, up and down. And that's sending it to our pretend device on the left. I can mute the microphone, unmute the microphone, mute the speaker, unmute the speaker, right? And that's how we get our controls. So let's move on to power. We're going to do the same thing. We have options to build this. This is a power. We have a couple different types of presets. We have the power on and off preset tied to that, the icon, the power icons that you saw before. And then we have the global presets for that global preset page that we showed before. I could come in here. I could call turn on and off displays from Versa or some of these other devices. But, you know, I'm just going to use the TCP/IP again, just to kind of show how to use this. And we'll say power on. And let's pretend this could be a projector. It could be a display. But the key is that it's controllable over IP. And there's our power on. And if you want to use hex, you just check box this hex right there. It changes this format, and you don't need a delimiter. Most of the time, hex doesn't need it. Now we have our power on and power off. Watch. When I press power on, see my power on shows up here, and you see the 0D, 0A. That's the delimiter, right? And here's my power off. Again, this is my pretend display that we're controlling. Next, we're going to go to presets. And you can see here, if I wanted to, I could just use presets as a switcher, right? Just by using this default switcher button. Instead, we're going to come in, we're going to do some other stuff. Let's say projector lift. Let's say projector lift screen, and we'll give it a little icon like that. And we're just going to come in, and we're going to again just use TCP/IP. 699, and yeah, again, made up codes. Hello world. Great. Oh, and if at this point I want to say add more, I could just hit this either this copy or add, and just come in here, and I could say goodbye. We also have delays that you can have in between these commands. So there's a lot you can do with this, right? And then I could hit save. Now, if I wanted to, I could just come in here and I could just copy this whole thing. We'll just call this preset 2. Again, it's not These aren't real presets. I just wanted to show how easy it is to copy whole things. And you just change one thing, change multiple things. It doesn't matter. And I want to create 4 just because only 3 show up at the top, and then the 4th one will show up with the rest of them on the actual page, right? There we go. And you can see here we have all of those icons. And now we have everything built: switching, audio, power, presets in a matter of minutes, really. And now we're going to press the activity button. That'll take us to that end user interface, and then we'll test the system. And if everything's turning on and turning off, then we're good to go. And that's pretty much it, right? At this point, the integrator is done, right? And they hand this off to the customer, and the end user will use this, every day when they need to use that space. Thank you for joining me.